let's have a quick look before we get going at where we are and where the thinking has been since taking Poppet for a walk. The idea is, and I've had a quick count, there's 7 cards here that the CSA have left in their pack. When that pack empties, we will be at the end of day number 1. Really and truly, the Confederates want to be round into this territory here. It's got a star on it because they got this one with a star, that one with a star, and that one with a star. If Confederates hold these 3 strategic points, they would win the game. If they can get through to the Pittsburgh landing as well, they could win the game. So I think the idea for the Confederates, and don't tell the Union player, is to get up into here as fast as we can with our fast-moving cavalry units and bring some more of our units through and around in this southern route. So let's get going with some dice rolls. 4 dice for the Confederate player. And we have 2 3s and 2 2s. That, I think, is all artillery fire. That's probably not what they wanted to have. You have to fire into adjacent regions, 1 shot per region it comes from. So we have, let's have a think. If that was further forward, that would have been handy. It's not, we can't do that. I think we can probably get 3 shots into Shiloh Church if we wanted to. And a 4th one somewhere else. I can't think that's really very helpful to us. But I guess getting a shot into this hill would be useful. I think bulk damage is what we're going to do. We'll go for 3 dice into Shiloh Church and 1 into this region just west of Hornet's Nest. So 3 into Shiloh's Church, 3 misses, predictable, and 1 up north. And our artillery has done a hit on a 5 or a 6. So one of these guys here is going to take some time casualty. It's going to be a move, and it's going to go back towards Pittsburgh Landing. Let's move the weakened unit up into Pittsburgh Landing. That is the end. Slightly anticlimactical go there for the Confederate soldiers. Union soldiers, they get to roll 2 dice. They get a 3 and a 1. A 1 is a card and a 3 is a fire order. Take the card first. Finally, Grant returns. This is handy now for the Union player. Place Grant in Pittsburgh Landing and 2 gunboats on the Tennessee River, but they will now get 3rd dice for their daily orders. So Grant gets here in Pittsburgh Landing and 2 gunboats. Now, being as though there's not a lot down here coming through, I think putting a gunboat here would probably be useless. 1 actually in Pittsburgh Landing, because these will have an artillery attack on them. They can be used as gunboats. So we've got protection for Pittsburgh Landing at this stage, and anything that comes through this way. We can't anticipate the Confederates coming through here. They might do. We can always move the boats later on. So they also have now a fire order. Let's try to hit back down here with this artillery unit abstractly and gets a miss. Over to the Confederates' turn. They get 4 dice, 2 movements, 3 movements, that is, and 1 fire. So let's do these movements as we were hoping to do now and start moving things as fast as we can. We can move 2 units down south, away from the action, or move units from over here where there's far more units in here in the first place. We can move 2 units into here on 1 order. We can move 2 units across on a 2nd order. And we can move these fast track units, a half and another half, up to this crossing point on the, and I'm trying to read the writing here, the Hamburg Savannah River Road, I think it says. They are now adjacent to here. They can start threatening this place quite nastily. And then we had the one fire order 2. So let's use those cavalry with their attached artillery units to fire into this place up here. Yeah, why not? And we miss. That's why we're not, because we always miss. Let's now go over to the Union soldiers. They get a 5, oh, and a third dice. My mistake, I'm so used to that. A third dice, a 6, a 5, and a 3. So, the 6 being a leader card, Grant can now use his leader abilities, but there's nothing near him that he can really do apart from taking these 2 guys and moving them. But I don't think we want to do that. We need some safety here. The movement order, I think we'll be getting things maybe through Owl Creek. We can see these guys have come up through here. We can see more guys have come around the south. If we move just 1 unit across the river there, yes, it weakens this on top of this hill, but the hill is good defence, and with this unit going into here, we are blocking off some of this passage, so they're going to have to do something about it, the Confederates that is, if they want to go straight through. So that is the movement on just a general movement dice. Okay, odd cut, but I had an extra bit to think about things. I was double thinking, taking too long about it, so what we've decided to do is Grant is going to move himself forward out of this area to get himself into somewhere that he may be useful if they get fire orders and leader orders later on. That's his leader move done. We have 1 fire order left to go. We're going to fire from here or here, doesn't matter, into this territory down here. Try to move some of these units back out of the way. So it's 1 dice with their artillery, and it gets another hit. The Union artillery are working today, and it's going to be moving 1 unit back. That's rather annoying for the Confederates. And now over to the Confederate turn. Again, we're trying to roll units forward as fast as we can. What can we do with this? 3 cards. Ouch. That isn't good for the Confederates. Yes, it's 3 cards. We know that. But as we said to you, there's about 7 cards here. When this day ends, they really want to be up on top of that mountain. And they have a mountain to climb before they get there. Morale checks, 2 of them, not good. Not good cards really for this stage. We could have done with more movement cards. They just haven't popped up yet. So, retreat and firepower. And just that 1 movement from that 1 dice. Let us move units across this border into here. Is going to be really the veteran going in, and I think we are going to be using extra firepower perhaps. Yes, we're going to use extra firepower card to try to make sure that if we survive this battle, we are going to be hitting back as hard as we can, provided, of course, we survive this battle first. The Union soldier gets to roll his defensive dice of 2 at first, and both of those are misses. They needed 5 or 6s because it is a flat plane. We now get 3 dice as a veteran, plus 1 extra dice with our firepower card. That's 4 dice against this young guy in here, and we have got 1 hit. That's all the hits we needed to move him back out of the way, and we make him retreat. He can't go across the river, he can only go back up to there. So we are now fairly strong in this region. That would be the end of the card and the end of the turn for the Confederate side. Union side, remember, 3 dice. Mustn't forget that. We could actually, damn, I should have thought that first. Could actually have used my retreat. Oh no, hold card. I wanted, never mind. I was just outthinking myself there. So, a 6, a 5 and a 4. That is a leader and 2 movements. That is pretty damn good. I think the Union are going to need more cards if they can get hold of them. But with these movements, they've got plenty enough on the hill at this stage to withstand most attacks. But I think moving one more guy into there as one movement, and moving one guy back down south as a second movement, and the leader card, that last card, I'm quite in favour of moving one of these guys into here to attack, to try to grab back that region again. So firstly, it's going to be the CSA, the 3 dice that the veteran guy has in defence, and scores 3 hits. Man alive, that's good rolling. That infantry's not going to survive down there from the Union side. We have 3 move backs. Well, obviously he can't move back 3 spaces, but he has to move back at least 1 space. And I think it's time for the Confederates to get smart and use their retreat card. If an enemy unit retreats, you may be forced to retreat an additional space. So they're going to do that. He goes back to there and must move back the additional space, trying to keep these units away from that front where Grant is trying to move the units forward into. And my fingers are getting fat and fumbly again. That is the end of the Union move. We now go back over to the Confederate move. They're rolling more fires. That's 3 artillery fires plus 1 movement. Suddenly they're rolling all the wrong dice when we're trying to move things forward as fast as we can. I think the thing to do, we are adjacent to this region from here, and we are adjacent to this region from here. So we can get 2 artillery units to fire into this region. 2 artillery dice rolling in at 5s and 6s. 2 hits. Oh man, they worked for again. So let's get their casualties. It's 2 retreats. 2 of these units from here must retreat. That's nice. So I think they're going to retreat 1 injured infantry unit and 1 intact infantry unit. All that's left now from our original orders is 1 more fire and 1 movement. If we fire into here, they could retreat this guy back this way. 1, 2, 3. It's the same distance. No, it's not. He can't go that way because he has to retreat the nearest route to Pittsburgh Landing. So it just pile more infantry up on Grant's space. Let's tie an infantry fire into that region there then. And gets a hit. Suddenly the Confederate infantry is working, and it is going to retreat 1 unit back. So it's going to retreat the wounded unit back into there. We are left with 1 more movement. And I think, you know what we're going to do. We're going to have to try to roll these guys here, these 2 horses, across this road, into this region, up the hill. They're going in against the odds, but sometimes you've got to sacrifice your units in an attempt at winning this game at an early point. We will have defensive fire, 5 dice from the Union soldiers at 4, 5 or 6 because they're defending on a hill, and then these guys, if they survive, will get a good chance of bashing them back. We're probably going to use a morale check card if we get a chance, although that's not going to be necessarily too effective. So let me grab some dice. 1 sec. We have 5 dice from the Union to try to fend off this cavalry attack. Otherwise, it could be disaster. And they've just scored the 1 hit. Ooh, but no matter what happens, if it's a retreat, it's going to reduce the units into here. If it's damaged, it's going to obviously remove a unit from here. So it's pretty good all round. It's going to retreat this 1 cavalry unit 1 space. They could use a retreat card to retreat this unit further, but it only moves at half movement rate anyway, because its cavalry can move faster. It might not be that effective, but I think we have to do it. We're going to use that card. We're going to retreat our cavalry one further space. We now have this one veteran cavalry. 2 dice. 5 and a 1, that is a movement and a card. The card that they have is artillery. That's quite handy. That will increase the power by 1 dice if they do get to do a shot. And they have a 5, a movement. Obviously looking weak here now. Got to move a unit down, and a strong unit at that. Let me have a slurp of coffee and rejig my thinking for the Confederates. This is the main front here. Get in here, we win this game. So 4 dice for the Confederate orders. They have a movement, 2 fires and a card. 5, 2 twos and a 1. The card gives them more morale checks. They come in an annoying time for us. 2 fires. Artillery from here into here and here into here. Same as before. It's a bit formulaic at this stage. Can we do some damage? No, we can't. Let's go into formula. But we do get a movement order. And once again, let's try to chase in there hard and fast with our 2 cavalry units. They can roll up in there. It's a movement of 1, but these both count as half, as we said before. Let's give the defensive roll for the Union side. They get 6 dice in defense. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 is the maximum dice. Oh, I'm looking at 4s, 5s and 6s. They've got 3 hits onto the cavalry. This is going to be painful. And it is 1 retreat, 2 damage. They're already damaged. They're already limping away. They must now be eliminated from the game. We salute you, soldiers. They can sit down there in anticipation. The rest of that dice roll is now superfluous. Slightly annoying for if you're a Confederate player, but that's the way it goes. Now we have the dice roll. 3 dice for the Union player. 2 3s and a 1. The 3s are both fires, and the 1 is a card. They're getting the cards now when they didn't particularly need them. So, lost orders, and they now have 6 cards. 1 of these cards must be played or given up at the end of this turn. And 2 artillery fires. Well, if we've got 2 artillery fires, we might as well play the artillery fire card, bringing our card count down to the requisite 5. Actually, we've played that Grant card because he's returned. He doesn't sit in the hand. That's already been played. But we are going to still play this card because we've got 2 artillery to fire. And we've got 4 dice in that case. Rather than 1 dice, we get 2 dice per. So we are mostly adjacent. Where can we get 4 shots into that would be most useful? I think we're going to split them. We're going to get 2 against this veteran and 2 against this normal infantry. So 2 versus the veteran first. We get a hit. Nice. And against the veteran, he's damaged. Oh, he stays there, but he's damaged. The other shots are going to go down here into Owl Creek, just due south. They both miss. Over to the Confederate Army. 4 dice for them. 2 movements, 1 fire order and 1 card. Getting closer and closer to the end of the day when they really don't want to get to the end of that day. They have got a retreat card, forcing the enemy to retreat 1 more place, and just 2 cards left there. Is that a third one? It is just 2 cards here. It feels quite thick, that one. Good thick stock. 2 movements and 1 fire.